With a four-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way. With a four-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way. For they play football.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Four Leaf Clover podcast post-match show. Andy, what did you make of that?
Easy, mate. It was just one of the games, just absolutely strolled. No problems at all, mate. So not concerned in any way. Easy 3 points, easy.
Aye, absolutely stole it, Paddy, didn't we?
Never in doubt, boys. Never in doubt. It's not one that we'll want to wax too lyrical about for too long. But prior to an international break, clean sheet, 3 points. That's about the best you can say. Yep.
That's it. That is it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 2. But don't let that scoreline fool you. We made that a lot harder than what it should have been. Dearie me. So, let's just get to the beginning, Andy, and we'll look at the starting lineup. There's two changes in there, mate. Scales came in for Carter Vickers, and Ida came in for Kyogo.
Mm-hmm.
What did you make of the starting lineup, pal?
I was all right with starting lineup, mate, because, you know, Scales, in my opinion, has been our best defender this season, so there shouldn't be any kind of concern that Scales coming in covering Carter Vickers. I think there's maybe a wee bit in the back of the mind that they don't want any kind of upset to CCV with any further injuries on that surface. You know, it was going to be a very physical game against Kilmarnock. It always is, and we really don't want him picking up. I know we're working into an international break, but we don't want him picking up any unnecessary injuries. And we've got to cover that today, so why not use day players? You know, that's what the squad's there for. Ida coming in for Kyogo. He needs more game time, more starting time. And I think on paper, you're looking at that saying, well, it might be more suited to Ida, that type of game, with the whole physicality and stuff like that. And I know we're going to go into it, but you seen it was quite early on in the game when it got absolutely clattered right in the coupon. So we knew it was going to go down that route. But we'll get into the game and see how it actually worked out for Ida in the end.
Aye. Paddy, just the starting lineup there, pal. Any surprises in there for you? And were you happy with Brendan's starting selection?
Yeah, no surprises at all, Scotty. Happy enough with the starting lineup. I think he explained that Big Carter Vickers just isn't. He's not up to playing so many games in a short space of time at the moment, so he needs a bit of rest as well. So we said it on the midweek show that it would be probably any 2 from 3. So was happy enough with Scales and Trusty. As Andy said, Scales can count himself a wee bit unlucky, maybe not to have played the last couple of games. He's been probably one of our best defenders. And again, just I sort of thought that during the week that he might go for Ida on this surface against this team. Just maybe the way he wanted to mix it up a wee bit, not so much give Kyogo a rest, but just he saw the way the game would develop, and that's exactly how it was. So he probably thought we'll go for the more physical approach maybe up front that will allow us to maybe bypass the midfield. So no surprises whatsoever, and I was happy enough with the lineup, Scott.
Aye, I mean, he did start Ida, gentlemen, but we certainly didn't play to his strengths, did we? And we will get into that as the pod goes on. So on the 5th minute, Andy, first real chance of the game, really. Maeda broke down the left-hand side. Ball was played into Ida. It's a huge chance, really, for Ida, but I think he sort of tried to blame the pitch. The ball sort of got underneath his feet a wee bit, and it was a good chance, Andy.
It was a fantastic chance and quite early in the game, as you said, but I think the ball was behind him, mate. I think it was almost kind of struggling to actually make correct contact with it. I think it was just too far behind him. When he did connect it, there was basically nothing on it, and it basically just rolled through into the keeper. But a pretty positive start and a good opportunity there as well.
Aye, It was a frustrating afternoon for Ida, Paddy, and that was just the start of his woes, really. The ball getting underneath his feet there.
It was, and when you watch it again, it's I think he makes a run just slightly too early. If he delays his run there, he walks right onto that. Well, he's gone in far too early, and the ball then looks as though it's way behind him, but he's actually gone in far too soon. He's gone in way too early. But again, his first few involvements in the game just summed up the way his game was going to go. And it's just, I say that surface just maybe hasn't suited to a big lad with a ball on the ground. I mean, we were probably hoping for more involvement with flick-ons and holding the ball up and stuff like that, but when the ball's bouncing off his shins, it's bouncing from one foot to the other, it's bouncing up at his chest. Just didn't have his best afternoon at all. But that particular incident there was a good chance for us to get in front.
Aye, he didn't have a good day at all either. And it got worse for him, Andy, on the 11th minute when Joe Wright smashed his elbow clean into his nose. And shockingly for me, we had a good chat about it on the group chat as well. Only a yellow card, Andy. Let's just, before you talk about that there, I've actually got it here. Look at the state of that. I mean, for me, it was a straight red card, mate. Even looking at it again on VAR, I don't know what the referee's looking at there, mate. What was your thoughts on it?
I'm a bit on the fence between a yellow and a red there. I think overall, I think the yellow might have been the right decision there. I can totally see where the red's coming from. People talking about a red. I think he has went, and I think it's probably with his elbow. It's more careless than intentional to actually hurt him. But that doesn't mean it's not a red card because he actually didn't mean to hurt him. And if you're getting in and you're careless with it, then I suppose you do need a red. So maybe contradicting myself here. Maybe it was a red. It was a very clumsy challenge, and it could have been worse than what it actually was. It was done for a fair bit. And I think in commentary they reckoned it could have been broken. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll find out exactly how bad it was. I don't know if he'd have carried on if it was broken. Maybe he would have, but it was certainly a tough one. It was still, even when he came out to start the second half, he still had the stuff up his nose. He was still bleeding to some extent. So, if it was down to me, I'd have changed him. I would have took him off, mate. I think it might have affected his game as well. We getting that head knock a wee bit, and obviously I'm still kind of bleeding a wee bit. I would have possibly brought on Kyogo just to change it up as well at half time, but I think it was very, very clumsy. I don't know. I don't really want to get down there to saying that he's intentionally brought his elbow to actually smash him in the face. I think it's been very careless for him and clumsy.
Aye, for sure. And Paddy was down for 4.5 minutes. But I think it was street shitter. It's dangerous play, mate. When I first seen it, I thought, yellow card all day long. But then when you actually see the replay, I'm with Andy. I'm not saying the boy meant to do it, but Jesus Christ, man, when you see it, it's a straight red card.
It ticks the boxes, Scott, for what is a red card these days. In with excessive force, endangering the opponent. I don't know what more they want. I didn't initially get a real good view of it. I had to see the replay myself, but given that they took such a long look at the Hatate incident later on, they didn't seem to look at that one there long enough. I don't know how anybody watching that over again sees that as anything else other than a red card. That yellow card should have been absolutely overturned.
Yeah.
As I say, the guy goes in leading with his arm. Fair enough, he may not go in to intentionally do it, but he's leading with his arm. He's excessive force, endangering the opponent. I don't know how many more of the criteria for a red card today they want them to tick the boxes. For me, it was a straight red as soon as I saw it on the replay. Absolutely should have been overturned from a yellow to a red.
Aye, he definitely got away with one there for sure, the lad.
Well, I would say, Scotty, is I think he's been caught out with us before this season. The same player for the same thing.
Yes.
So that's.
There we go. Smell the glove. Said it. That guy Wright's been sent off twice already, and had a third downgrade to a yellow. Typical Celtic thug. Aye, he's got to be. I don't know. Is that one of the ones they can look at again after the game?
I'm not 100% sure, mate. I don't know, but if it is a possibility, do you actually see anything happening for the governing bodies in this country? I'm not too sure, especially with being against Celtic.
Aye, but I think it's one for sure that could be looked at again if that's certainly the case. So moving forward, lads, on the 16th minute, a Kilmarnock midfielder broke through and he had a shot from outside the box, and it was a smart save from Schmeichel, and luckily Scales was there to clear it. And I've put down here on the 20th minute an absolutely honking opening 20 minutes from us. Kilmarnock pressing as well though, Andy. And McInnes was very brave to go man for man with, as I thought as well. So fair dues to McInnes for his tactics, but we were terrible.
We were, mate, but I think we get drawn into Kilmarnock's game. We never allowed ourselves to play our own type of football. And you start getting pulled into their kind of game, the physicality side of it. I think, we do tend to struggle at times. We're a good footballing team when we're getting the opportunity to do so. Teams are quite happy to break play up and make it very scrappy. And I've actually wrote down stop-start, no fluency at the game, very scrappy. And I think a lot of that's down to Kilmarnock's determination to make sure that Celtic weren't able to play with fluent passing football. A lot of it could be down to us as well, mate. I'm not putting it on giving Kilmarnock all the credit for stopping us playing. I think possibly we're feeling it a wee bit for during the week, for last weekend's game to the big European game during the week, and then this game the day. But we certainly didn't look ourselves. Certainly not what I was expecting, and maybe we shouldn't be surprised because it tends to happen quite a lot after European games, that European hangover. But normally that comes back and bites you in the arse. And I think the day that it shows you that we can come out and not necessarily play really nice, attractive football, we can scrap in a game and get through it and get points and go back to top of the league as well. And that's the market champions, when you have got that dogged determination to, no matter what obstacles are putting your way, that you're going to get through the game, you're going to win the game, and you've got the ammunition to actually score the goals required to do that. And I think we certainly got that. I think you can quite easily look at the game and feel down and gloom about it, we never played well and whatever. I honestly couldn't care less, mate. I think any game we play, I think it's nice to play good football, but at the end of the day, the points is the most important thing, and getting back to the top of the league as well. And we've done that, and there's absolutely no complaints. You might be a wee bit down about it, thinking, I wish we'd have played a wee bit better. The points is the most important thing for me, all day long.
Aye, Paddy, Andy's right. You're not going to have the free-flowing, fast football every single game. I think, I don't want people to think we're being negative here. It's just we're covering the full game from what we see it. It was an ugly game to watch. It was an ugly 3 points that we got, and you're going to get these sort of games. But I think going back to the beginning of the game, what I said was the tactics that Celtic looked to employ today, it never happened. What was the point in starting either? What was the start in playing the tactics? Chris Sutton said it during the game. I spoke to Andy about it at half-time, actually. He said, why are Celtic not playing direct football? If Kilmarnock are going man for man, then why are Celtic not going direct? We played into Kelly's hands in that first 20 minutes, and fair play to Kilmarnock, that's all I'm saying.
You have to give them credit, Scotty. Derek McInnes got his game plan in especially the first 20 minutes, and the one thing that Kilmarnock do well is they use the pitch to their advantage. There's no question about that. It's not the easiest surface to play nice free-flowing football on at the best of times. But as I say, they got in about us. They identified our key danger men. They completely nullified the threat that we had from the middle of the field. They were pushing up on Maida. They were pushing up on Kühn. And as I say, they were doing what they're best at. And that's it. They were frustrating us, and they were breaking the game up. And and to be fair, they probably had the best. They probably had the best of the first half. In my view. But it's not easy, it's not easy on that surface. I know we keep talking about it, but it's not for top class football. And that's the kind of game it's going to be. Before you go there that's the way it's going to be. And that was the disappointing thing for us, that we didn't utilise the lineup the way Brendan had wanted to set it up. We were obviously going to try and miss out the midfield a bit more and go direct to Ida, who would hold it up and bring the guys into play, but it just didn't work. It just did not work in the first half. I don't think I've seen a game for a long time where we were second to so many loose balls, especially in around the edge of the box and in around the middle of the field. We just didn't seem to be sharp enough. We just didn't seem to be first to the ball. And as I say, you have to give Kilmarnock credit for that. They were absolutely all over it in the first half, and they were prepared to go and empty the tank for him, and that's what they were going to do. They were going to give him a good 60-65 minutes of just sheer effort and determination, aimed more at stopping us playing than doing their own. But they not only stopped us playing, but they did have a few good moments themselves at the other end. But it was just frustration, really, a real frustrating period for us, But again, as I say, as Andy said, sometimes these are the games that you look back on at the end of the season and say, we didn't play that well that day, but we took the 3 points. We got the points, and that's all that matters. We're away up the road with 3 points. We're back at the top, and we can now regroup and allow the players to get a bit of a rest now before we go again.
Aye, we can mind last season when we won the league, there was a few scrappy games up at Ross County and things like that, where we sort of stole the points. I'm not saying we stole the points today, but we were very lucky at times, I would say, especially as we'll get to at the end of this half. But on the 26th minute, we had the first sort of meaningful chance, really, with a short corner, and Kilmarnock line wound up from the side of the box, and it was a good save from the keeper who tipped it wide. Then on the 29th minute, some good play from Adam Ida. He tried one from the edge, but it was a very, very tame effort from the big man. And then, Andy, on the 36th minute, what is Rio Hatate doing? Sort of just outside the box, middle of the park. Kelly went it back off him. Watkins has an excellent chance, lifts it to Schmeichel, and we were saved by the post, mate. Very, very lucky there not to go 1-0 down.
Very fortunate. The scary thing is that Watkins was in that box to sell there, mate, and plenty of time to connect with that shot. Rattled off the post. Very fortunate not to lose a goal there. So it was a wee bit concerning there, because you had kind of had a feeling, I think they're going to score. They've got that feeling that we're going to lose a goal. It was coming. It felt as if it was coming. You can't really give chances like that away, and we were very fortunate that it did come off the post and no in the back of the net.
Aye, definitely. And Paddy, I think you were about a minute ahead of us on the group chat with your stream. And you're like, what's Hatate doing? How did Hatate? And I was like, oh my God, have we missed a chance? But no, Hatate had a mare in the middle of the park, mate, and Kilmarnock should have scored.
That one incident, Scotty, just summed up the first half. Absolutely summed us up. Just sloppy on the ball, needlessly conceding possession in a very, very dangerous area. And the one I'll give Kasper Schmeichel the credit. He came out, made it tough for the guy, closed down the angle, which probably saved us. Which meant that he had to take the wee chip a bit earlier, maybe than he would have wanted to do. They just didn't get a chance to slot it away. But we were very, very fortunate to watch. You're just waiting on the ball, nestling in the corner of the net there, and it was just such a relief to see it bouncing back off the post. And again, it could have bounced back to a Kilmarnock player who would have had a tap in. We seem to be all at sea there, and as I say, that one incident just seemed to sum us up in the first half. And at that stage of the game, we were saying, listen, we are still fortunate here to be only 0-0. If Kilmarnock were leading 1-0, we couldn't really have had any complaints. So it was a big relief to see that one come back off the post.
Aye, it was a bit of a calamity of a half, really, wasn't it? Just watching it back, it was like Wayne's Fitbit at some point, just the way the ball was bouncing about and stuff.
Aye.
So Kez has said there, I hope they finish bottom 6 so we never need to play in that Poundland rug surface again. Kez, I don't know if you know, mate, but next season that is gone for good, thank God. So yes, that will be gone for good, that pitch. And Chris Fraser, these pitches should be outlawed. I played junior football and never played on pitches like that. You obviously never played at Salkit's Fix then, Chris, because that was the worst surface known to Manchester. So after that one, it was, where are we? Yeah, 43rd minute. More shocking defending from us. Taylor lets his man get the ball in. It breaks to Vassell. And luckily, it was goal bound, but it deflects over off Trusty. Andy, again, I thought Greg Taylor was pretty poor today, mate, and he let his man get the ball in. And Big Vassell, very unlucky again, mate. Could have scored again, Kelly.
Taylor's got that weakness in his game, mate. He has got, absent-mindedness, his positioning and stuff like that. He can be quite bad. I think at times he's very good going forward, but at the end of the day, the position you play in is a defensive position, and you need to be able to defend. And I think he's found wanting at times with his positional sense. Now and again, you'll see Scales that is able to cover him when he does get caught out in these situations, but no particularly there. Vassell isn't a great player, I would say. I think now and again he finds himself in pretty good positions. He tends to put his cell about a wee bit. But I think we were fortunate there, and Taylor again kind of getting caught out, not his best. What was that with Valle anyway? Was he just rested or what?
I don't know. I just think Brendan's got this thing into that he just picks him for that game, and that's how it is. For me personally, I thought Taylor, Engels, and Ida were absolutely honking the day, and I was crying for the three of them to get hauled off at half time until what happened a few minutes later. But Paddy, Taylor sold the jerseys on the wing. Ball comes in, and Vassell should have scored, mate.
Again, Taylor just guilty of that. What we said, Scott, just a lack of sharpness. Didn't seem to be switched on to the danger, and and that just summed us up. He wasn't the only one, but again, like when you consider the one earlier and that one there, we could have been easily a goal down. A very, very sloppy end to the first half, and it was only saved by what happened a few minutes later.
Yeah, and perfectly set me up there again, Paddy, so thanks for that. On the 49th minute, we had 4 minutes of injury time due to the Ida smash in the face. Kilmarnock gets the ball on the sort of right-hand side of the box. He spots Ida making a run. He floats a lovely ball in, Andy, towards Adam Ida, who done what he done all half and completely misses it, and it goes right in. Celtic 1-0, thank God.
Aye, great kind of floated ball in for Kilmarnock, and I almost thought Ida got a toenail on it. But when I seen the replays again, he was absolutely nowhere near it. It was just absolutely nowhere near it. So
it wasn't anywhere near it.
No, it wasn't, mate. No, and you're absolutely spot on there. It really just didn't work out for him the day at all. Maybe if he did get a toe on that and he could claim credit for that, it might have gave him a wee bit of confidence booster. But it just basically went straight into the goal for Kilmarnock. But it was a great ball. I know it was a great kind of lofted ball for Kilmarnock. It was perfect for him, but he couldn't quite reach it. As I said, he's got to let his toenails grow a wee bit more.
He needs to get himself a wee pedicure, doesn't he? Paddy, good ball in for Kilmarnock, and another goal outside the box for the main man. I think that's 4 this season, is it not?
He's the second top scorer now, they're saying. Is that what they're saying? He's the second top scorer, but well, it's the one thing that Ida did the whole day long, and that was he managed to take the eye of the goalkeeper there. The fact that he was in there, and I think the goalkeeper was watching him. If you watch the replay that they show from there's a low angle camera behind the goal, and you can actually see the goalkeeper. He's anticipating Ida getting the touch on the ball, and he's thinking Ida's going to touch this back across the goal here, and he just doesn't move his feet quickly enough, and he's literally caught out by the fact that Ida doesn't touch it. And then with the surface, the ball bouncing on the surface, it picks up a bit of speed and it just curls into the corner. So fair play to Ida for doing what he done. He did. At least he took the mind of the goalkeeper there, and that allowed us to get the goal. And it was very, very warmly received certainly by all the fans in the stadium, and certainly by us here watching at home.
Aye, thank God, Paddy. It was terrible viewing, and to go in at half time 1-0 was certainly a bit of luck, Andy. So just give us your overall thoughts on that complete first half then, Andy. What was your thoughts on the first half, pal?
Pretty disappointing. I have to forget the only kind of up point to it was a goal, right at the end of the first half. So delighted to go in 1-0 up. I think we're pretty fortunate, to be quite honest with you. I think we could have been at least one goal down in that first half. And I think looking at it, it looked to me as if Brendan really had to put some serious arses in that dressing room at half time, or get the changes done at half time. I think it was pretty evident that it wasn't quite working with the personnel he had. He needed to change something up. I was personally wanting McCowan on. I think a game like this is perfect for him. I don't just mean that he's a very dogged type of player, but he's a very technically gifted player.
Yeah.
And I think there's certain games that are suited to him more than Engels, per se, but it's pretty evident that Engels wasn't at his best today. And I would have brought McCowan on, and I would have also brought Bernardo on as well. I think Bernardo has got more of a fight about him than Engels. You seen Engels, he was getting complaining about everything and stuff, and that's somebody that's almost spitting a dummy because it's not quite happening for him. And I think Bernardo's a very gifted player, but I think his mindset's different as well. He seems to be more a player that just gets up and gets on with it. You know, he doesn't let things affect him as much. And I think that's if it know that he normally changes things at half time, it's not something Brendan does, but I think it might have kick-started us in the second half with getting particularly the two players on to really kind of change it up a wee bit.
Aye, I think Andy makes a great point there, Paddy. McInnes was brilliant with what he done on Engels today. He man-marked him, and that boy was putting it on him every time he got the ball. He wouldn't give him a second. So fair dues again to McInnes for noticing that, and notice that the boy doesn't like getting roughed up, and he does go into a wee bit of huff. So he's going to have to get used to this in Scottish football. I've put absolutely honking viewing, lads, but we'll certainly take that. That's my views on the first half. Paddy, what are yours?
Just much the same, Scott. As I say, fortunate certainly to be one goal ahead. Very fortunate not to be a goal behind. Sloppy. Just the lack of spark. We were never got near the levels that we expect to get to normally. I said in the group chat we were miles off it. We were absolutely miles off it. And that's what you can't afford that in this league. You can't afford to come off it. If you step off it at all against any of these teams, especially when they have the likes of the plastic pitch to use to their advantage, it's a great leveler. So we were just miles off it in the first half. I said exactly the same. Brendan needed to go in and basically needed to give a few of them the hairdryer treatment, to be honest. And then, hopefully maybe make the changes in the second half. So just at halftime, we were just that was the opinion. My opinion was, we'll take it all day long. Fortunate to be 1-0 up, but we will absolutely take it.
Yeah, for sure. So into the second half then, lads, on the 46th minute, Engels, a lovely ball, and Ida is in. Heavy touch round the McCrory, and the chance is wasted yet again. On the 50th minute, Ida, good play, breaks to Kühn, who tries a shot, deflected out for a corner. And then Andy, on the 60th minute, Kühn to Ida, back to Kühn. A great save from McCrory, but Kühn should have scored that one, mate.
This is one guy who you expect to stick that in the back of the net, and it was actually quite a good move. Started with Kühn to Ida, and then back on to Kühn again.
Yeah.
Great opportunity right in front of goal, and the keeper saves it. I don't know what Kühn was trying to do, if he was trying to place it or actually trying to just loft it over the keeper a wee bit. I don't know. It was a bit of both, I think. But right there, I thought, he's no missing that. A guy who's absolutely on fire now. Celtic's best player at the moment. He's been superb this season. And in every competition that he's played as well, he's stood up, he's took responsibility. He's been a very dangerous player for us, and one that we've become kind of reliant on, to be honest with you. He's been a kind of shining light. So in that situation, you're looking at him to put it in the back of the net, but unfortunately the keeper saved there. So, but great opportunity, good move as well.
Aye, it was a good move, Paddy, and Kühn should have scored, but from that as well, Kilmarnock actually broke up the pitch and nearly scored again themselves.
Aye.
And another smart save from Schmeichel, who had a great game today as well, Paddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the first time we saw the proper link-up play from the front men. The first time they'd really managed to get something going in the game. And obviously when the ball goes inside from Ida to Kühn, you're just thinking this is 2-0 here, but you've got to give the goalkeeper credit. He's a good young keeper. He was off his line in a hurry, saw the danger, and spread himself and made it difficult for Kühn. So I would say it's a miss, but it was a good save as well. And again, while we were still sort of talking about that, they break away to the other end of the field, and you think they're in, but there was a wee spell, especially at the beginning of the second half, where I'm not saying Schmeichel kept us in it, but he certainly made a couple of brilliant saves there to keep the thing going the way we were going. Again, it shows you the levels of concentration that the top class goalkeepers have to have. He's not had an awful lot to do, and he's watching us up the other end, and all of a sudden, bang, they're in on top at the other end. So it was just good to see. He made a couple of brilliant saves there, and you can see him after he made the saves. You can see him remonstrating with his fellow defenders as if to say, "Right, guys, come on, you need to give me a bit more. You need to give me a bit more protection here." So it was a frenetic start to the second half.
Certainly was, mate. And then Brendan Rodgers yet again on the 62nd minute. Engels and Ida, both of them had shockers for me. Taking off, rightly so. And Kyogo and Bernardo came on. Then on the 65th minute, something happened, Andy, that doesn't normally happen. The ball was stolen off Kilmarnock by 3 players. They surrounded him on the edge of the area, sort of took it off him, mate. And Kennedy with a brilliant shot, and as Paddy just alluded to there, a world-class save from Schmeichel, mate. It should have been one each there.
Aye, at that particular time, mate, I think we were kind of shaky. Again, I'd mentioned in the first half, I felt as if a goal was coming with a couple of chances he had. At this time, when this was all happening, I was like, I could see them actually getting a goal here. But we managed to weather that storm, and a lot of that's down to Schmeichel, because he's such a quality keeper, mate. It really, people know what I've said about Joe Hart in the past. I don't want to keep going on about it, but I did say at the time, not that Joe Hart wasn't a good shot stopper. I think that the huge difference is Casper's distribution with the ball and his passing, but he's a very good shot stopper, very competent keeper. And I know a lot of people have been on about, he looks a wee bit heavy and all that. It doesn't matter to me that he knows how to make a save, and it doesn't matter so much as a goalkeeper. Different, as we said, if he wants to be a midfield player, he could be, but he would have to cut his weight a wee bit. But the guy's so agile, and his responses to shots and all that, and I think we've spoken about it in the past as well, that when it comes to, especially being a Celtic goalkeeper domestically, you really need to have your concentration about you and be very alert when it comes to that when chances do arise, that you're on your toes and you can react to things. Schmeichel's very good at that. He's a top class keeper, and I think he had a very, very good game today. Possibly could be up for man of the match, maybe. And you don't really want to say that when your team's won 2-0, but I think it was absolutely superb. Quite a few saves he made today. Thought he was very good.
Aye, absolutely brilliant. And just a wee comment there from Jungle Lion. All new here, lads. Welcome to the party, mate. Tell your pals, and hopefully you enjoy the content that we provide, mate.
I know Jungle Lion for Axum. He goes on to Axum. He's quite.
Oh, does he?
He's quite prevalent on there. Good to see you on here, mate.
Good to see you, pal. Paddy, great save for Schmeichel. World-class save. Kennedy, very unlucky not to make it one each for Kelly.
They did well, Scotty. They forced us into an area that we didn't really want to go. We were trying to get the ball out on that right-hand side, and Callum turned and didn't see the guy coming in behind him to close him down, and we ended up losing. And to be fair, Kennedy, it was a good run. And actually, when I thought when he took the touch past Scales, I thought we're in trouble here, because I didn't expect him to have that composure. I thought he was going to hit it when Scales would have got the block in, but he had that wee touch of composure to just take it on another step, and that's what opened up the space. And really and truly, he should have scored, but it was a fantastic save from Schmeichel. Again, made himself big, cut down the angle, got a good solid hand to it, and blocked the ball away into an area where there was no danger. So again, we were very, very fortunate, but that's what it is to have a top class goalkeeper in your net. That's it. Sometimes he can make the saves that that will keep you in the game long enough to maybe get the goals that you need to win, and stave off the danger. And that's exactly what he done there. He was called upon a couple of times there, and he made 2 or 3 brilliant saves there. So I absolutely would be for ourselves. I would give him a shout for man of the match. He was brilliant.
He was top
Sorry,
class.
sorry, mate. Am I right in saying that was Kennedy at Celtic at one point? No,
Don't think so,
no.
mate. No.
Was it Finlay? Finlay was it?
Finley was, yeah.
Finlay
Was
was
it
at
Finlay?
Celtic.
Aye, I'm getting them mixed up.
Aye, Finlay was, mate. So on the 71st minute, Andy, I've put thank God for Nicholas Kühn. Just as we alluded to there as well, it was a very, very shaky start to the second half, and it did look like Kilmarnock were going to score. And that's when I looked up to the heavens. Thank God for Nicholas Kühn. So a ball was played down the right-hand side by AJ. It looked like a kind of nothing ball as well, but Kühn got onto it like a flash. Like I've said before, apparently is the fastest man at Celtic, even faster than Maeda, and you've seen it there where his pace came from. He was cool, he was calm, and it was 2-0 Celtic. Nicholas Kühn, great goal.
Aye, I think AJ and Kühn have got a great symmetry. They've got a really good connection and understanding when they play together down that side. And it was a great ball for AJ. But Kühn still had a lot to do for there, you know. He took it further down towards the byline and cut inside. And that typical kind of Kühn shot where it's got a curl on it, a superb finish. And he's just the man of the moment now, isn't he? I think he's very instrumental in the way that Celtic play. He seems to be involved in everything, whether it's goals or setting goals up or just putting the other team under danger with his movement, his trickery, his speed. And the good thing about Kühn is, I mean, can you imagine if we had two Kühns? Can you imagine if Maeda had the technical ability, Kühn, we would absolutely destroy teams, mate. Because I think both are very instrumental to the way Celtic play. Probably Maeda more with his pressing than anything else, and his willingness just not to give up to try and fight for the ball. And that was a prime example for what happened during the week. He started that with a second goal, where we backed him into the corner. It was absolutely relentless. Kühn, on the other side, has got that speed, but very technical and very dangerous with his driving runs into the box, whether it be laying it across for somebody or taking a shot on himself. I think he's definitely, if he can keep us up for the rest of the season, nobody wants to talk about players leaving the club, of course, no. But you know there's going to be people sniffing about him. But we want to keep players at that as long as we possibly can, because especially in the Champions League, he's proved that he's at that level against a team who he was in their youth setup. So that was a bittersweet moment for him during the week, but for him to get on the score sheet at this weekend again, he's just, using words that Tommy Burns says, only talking about a player and not the fans. He's there, and he's always there. And it seems to be Nicholas Kühn now. You know, he's a man at the moment. He's absolutely superb.
He's brilliant, Paddy. And we spoke about the pace angle of what Maeda gives you and what Kühn gives you. Maeda gives you the pressing. He uses his pace for pretty much the pressing. But you see Nicholas Kühn's pace there. He was off, man, like a greyhound, and nobody was for catching him. But also, as Andy said as well, his technique and his calmness. It reminds me of Larson. See, when you hear him speaking about the way he, you know, after a game and stuff like that, it's like it's nothing to him. You know, he's just like, just calm as you like. And he was cool, calm, and composed on the ball to get that goal, mate. His pace was unbelievable. His calmness was brilliant, but his finish was unreal. 2-0 on Celtic.
Great link up again with Alistair Johnston on the right hand side. Nice wee ball knocked into the space for him, and he knows he has that pace to get on it. But you know, again, it's the quality that the guy has once he gets the ball. You know, his pace is there for all to see, but the guy just oozes quality once he gets the ball. When he gets that ball down and he gets it on his left hand side, you know, the fullback, anybody marking him out, he must be an absolute nightmare to play against. When he can go one way, he can go the other, he can bring somebody into play, he can take it on himself, and he's just playing with an absolute 100% level of confidence at the minute. You know, shout out for a player of the season already. He's been that good for us recently. He's been fantastic. And again, just like for ourselves watching the game today at that particular stage, it was breathe, right? There we go. There's the second goal, just what we needed. It was vital that we got the next goal. We couldn't allow that game to get to one each because we would have had a long last 10 or 15 minutes there. So it was hugely important that we got the next goal to make it 2-0. And no better man on at the moment than Nicholas Kühn, Johnny on the spot again, and that to not only get that ball on that surface and run at that speed, but to come in and then find the finish as well. It's just absolutely different class. The guy's on another level to anything that's in Scotland at the minute. There's no doubt about that. So I'm just glad he's playing for us and not against us.
Aye, it's a brilliant goal, and like you said, it killed the game, Paddy, for sure. So 2 minutes later, Kühn and AJ were that good that Brendan took them off. He brought on Forrest and Ralston, and 6 minutes later, for me, the man of the match as well, Kasper Schmeichel. He done a wee Zinedine Zidane turn. He was taking the piss that much today, Andy. Absolutely brilliant for the big man, but as Chris Sutton said, I wouldn't have liked to have seen him doing that if Martin O'Neill was his manager.
Aye, but that just shows you the confidence he's got in his own ability, doesn't it? He's very, very competent, Casper. Aye, and you're right that Martin O'Neill would be tearing his hair out looking at stuff like that. To be quite honest with you, he'd probably have you can just imagine he'd be going off his nut. But aye, it was good to see.
He was just, let's just have a moment, Paddy, about Kasper Schmeichel, the wee Zidane turn. Absolutely brilliant today, as we've alluded to already, but just the audacity to try that in the box, superb for the big man.
On that surface too, Scotty, on that surface as well. Bad enough on a grass pitch, but just shows you the inner confidence that the guy has. He's absolutely 100% committed to what he's doing. He knows himself. He has the ability. There was another one as well, which I'm not sure if anybody noticed as well, but he actually put a lovely pass out between the centre half and the centre forward out to Greg Taylor. He slew. It was like a slide rule pass.
Seen it, mate.
Look at that there. That guy could be a number 6 without any danger. The guy's just got loads. He's got the ability, and he's confident in his ability. The thing I like about Schmeichel is he always sees the game before he receives the ball. He knows exactly what he's going to do with it. He knows where it's going. You can see whether he's going out to the wide area, or he's maybe going to nip one into Hatate or McGregor. The guy knows exactly where the ball's going before it's even arrived at his foot. So just again, for the Celtic fans behind the goal, that was a brilliant wee moment for them, just to see that wee moment of skill from there. Just supreme confidence, and just the guy just has wonderful ability as a goalkeeper.
Do you know what I would do for a laugh, Scotty? See, next time we play Rangers, I would put Kasper Schmeichel in midfield and put David Plunkett in goals, just for a laugh. And I think we'd still beat them, absolutely.
His dog, what are we doing with his dog? Tie up behind the goals.
He won't even need his dog with him.
Andy's dug in goals, and would still beat them, I think.
Oh, brilliant.
So on the 80th minute, there was another big talking point, Andy. Real Hatate, you can tell, he didn't mean to do it. He gets a yellow card for a sliding challenge. It goes to VAR. He clearly pulls away.
Yeah.
But I think this is a big talking point, because we've seen these given as red cards. When they go to VAR, if you look at it, he does catch him on the shin. So if that gets slowed down on VAR, you could key that as a red card. But thankfully, everybody saw sense, and the yellow card was still given. Andy, talk us through that. Were you quite comfortable it was a yellow as well, and maybe was it a red card?
I'm gonna backhand this to Paddy, right? Because I was very comfortable and tried to do a pee at the time, and I missed it, mate. So I need to apologise. I heard the missus in the living room shouting to us because I ran out of the house to go to the toilet. And she's Paddy's just got a yellow card, so I'll pass that on to Paddy to cover that. I missed it, mate. I apologise.
Go for it.
No, I think it was a yellow card again. When we touch on the criteria for a red card, there's no force. Is he endangering the opponent? No, he's certainly not, because he's actually pulling his leg back. Yeah, he catches him a wee bit high, but there's no force there. There's no intent there. For me, a yellow card was the right decision. They got away with one or two other ones as well. The guys throwing arms about and stuff, and they weren't even looked at. The danger with that is the danger for me is always whenever the VAR official is actually watching it, because then you're sort of thinking, is he going to send him over to the monitor to look at this? And that's where, as you say, Scotty, the problem is when you slow these things down. Now, I'm sure there'll be a still of this tackle from Hatate out there somewhere, and it'll look horrendous.
Of
because
course.
but that's that's what we're saying. That's the danger when they start over analysing the things and looking at it. It's not, and the game's not played at that speed. There's it's just a nonsense. Well, as I say, that's the danger once the thing goes to VAR. But I was relieved that they managed to get it right. I was actually surprised, given that it was Don Robertson who was the VAR. I thought to myself, he'll send them over. He'll send them over because Don Robertson is gaining a reputation for not wanting to make a decision. He wants to put it back to the referee. But when you see it again, I mean, it would have been a complete and utter nonsense to make that a red card, because there was no intent whatsoever there. I think Hatate, it was more frustration than anything else that he had let the ball go. So it was more out of frustration than anything else. But there was certainly no intent to hurt the player, and he was actually, if anything, he was actually pulling out of the challenge. No, 100% it was the right decision.
Bang on, and the Pork Chop Express has got to bang on as well, mate. No VAR check for assault on either, but a check for Rio's tackle. Which one warranted the check, guys?
Absolutely, yeah.
It says it all. Says it all. So 3 points, get out of town from the Jungle Lion. Bang on as well, mate. That's it. 3 points and down the road. So after that, Donnelly got a yellow card. They put one on, and Casper Schmeichel, the big man, was fuming well, wasn't he? Then McCowan came on for Hatate in the 85th minute. A bit late for our Andy on the 85th minute, but the wee man had a chance right at the death. Just before it, Kyogo should have scored. Good save from McCrory. And then McCowan on the 94th minute, unlucky and just wide. So, ladies and gentlemen, it finished full time. Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 2. So, Andy, just give us your overall thoughts on that performance and game, pal.
I can forget about performances quite easily, mate. See, when it comes down to bread and butter games in the league and getting back to the top of the league and getting back up the road with 3 points, I'll take that all day long. We can all want great performances. I think we've had great performance against Aberdeen. We've had a great performance against Leipzig. Maybe half it a wee bit today down in Kilmarnock, but we've come back with the 3 points. Can't ask for any more than that. We've come away with full points in these 3 games within 7 days. So I'm absolutely delighted. We're back at top of the league. We're doing superb in the Champions League. We're in a League Cup final. I'm delighted, mate, because you know that overall our performances this season are going to be very good because it's simply the way we've started them. So you're going to have odd games now and again where your performances on the top level, but as long as we still come out with a result, then I'm quite happy with that, mate. So delighted with the 3 points. Absolutely delighted.
Aye, something that Andy said the other night, Paddy. 3 games a week just isn't enough at the minute, is it? It's because of the way we've been playing. You're dying to get the next game because of the way we're playing football. And just today was one of the ugly games. But 3 points and down the road, mate, is all that matters.
That's it. And, you have to allow for the drop-off after the European game. There's always a drop-off after these Champions League games. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. But that's just the energy that the players expend in those Champions League games. Shouldn't be dismissed. There's some amount of effort, some amount of run to play a team like RB Leipzig, and then to regroup again a few days later and go to Kilmarnock on that surface. So absolutely no complaints whatsoever. These are the kind of games, as I said earlier, that when you look back at the end of the season, you'll say, we didn't play that well there, but we got the 3 points and we kept a clean sheet. You cannot ask for any more than that. You just simply can't. It's too much to expect anymore. He's already had to give a couple of guys a run out because there's obviously players who need a wee bit of a rest and stuff like that. So to get into the international break in the situation that we're in, leading at the top of the table in the cup final, doing really, really well in the Champions League, looking at possible qualification for the next stages, the season is absolutely on track, and that's all you can ask for. As Brendan said earlier in his interview, we're on the right track. We're absolutely on the right track. Yep, we're not maybe firing in every single game, but we're on the right track, and that's all that you can ask for. So long may it continue. So let's just hope that the players that are not away get a bit of a break now, and the players who are away come back with no injuries or no problems after, because we will have another difficult spell. As soon as that break is over, we'll be starting again, and we'll be on the run of another few games. So we need everybody to come back fit and healthy, and we need guys like Carter Vickers and maybe Big Trusty and that guys who got wee knocks recently. We need those guys to be able to recharge the batteries now over this international break. So let's just hope everybody comes back fit and well, and we're ready to go again as soon as the break's over.
Aye, and we've got Hearts away on the 23rd for the evening kickoff, I believe it is, at Tynecastle. So it's going to be a really tough return from the international break, going there to play them. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday night for our flagship podcast, and we will try and keep you busy through this boring international break. We'll try our best to get some good content out for you. We'll do some stuff behind the scenes, try and get some guests on and stuff like that, and get some good segments for you. So that's us, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your first time watching it, like Jungle Line, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like and share and tell your pals about this podcast. That's us. We will be back on Wednesday night. Thank you very much, Andy. You've got something to say?
I just want to have a quick mention that we spoke about it in the chat about who I was chatting to, and I just want to mention that there's going to be somebody coming on in January. So if you're into your going to your Vegas conventions for the Celtic Supporters Convention in Vegas, we've got the main man coming on in January, Tam Donnelly. I've been speaking to him, so he's a bit busy doing to try to get everything organised for the convention, but he's going to come on for a chat, and we'll go through talking about stuff to do with that and his overall Celtic. He's in his late 70s now, so he's had plenty of experience watching Celtic, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of cracking stories for him. And I actually found out, talking to him last night, that he stayed next close to me in Castlewalk many years before I stayed there, but you know, it just shows that it's a very small world. So I'm looking forward to getting, or we are looking forward to getting Tam on for a right good chat about that. It's very interesting stuff, and it's a huge event that goes on in Vegas. So you never know, we could be doing a pod for Vegas if I'm allowed to go. So that'd be fantastic. There's absolutely no chance that Scotty's coming back for Vegas. He's going to end up in an apartment with about 40 strippers. Paddy's going to ship his motorhome there. He's going to be scooting about Nevada in and out all the casinos, and it's should be good. Looking forward to it.
If I get to go to Vegas and lock up everybody.
Yeah.
I'll be loving that. So thank you very much, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in today. We'll be back on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. UK time, because we are an international podcast. Thank you very much for all your comments today and joining us. It finished Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 2, and the boys are back at the top of the table. We will see you on Wednesday. Cheers.
Hail.